We come now to verse 11 of the 3rd chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus has just expressed what appears to be a certain degree of surprise toward Nicodemus, whom he denominates the teacher of the Israel, using the definite article there, and yet in astonishment says, "And you don't understand these things?" As if to say this should be elementary, this should be something that anyone in your status should be able to make sense of. And of course Jesus may be alluding to the fact that the Old Testament does have plenty of opportunities to give some idea of the notion of a radical internal renovation by which spiritual truth would be understood. But of course Nicodemus, being a typical scholar of the first century Jewish world, had become a rather impressive technician, but it may have been lost on him that it required this kind of internal transformation that could only be effected by the Spirit. Jesus continues at this point in the same vein. Amen, amen. We've seen this before, remarkable repetition of the word amen. Jesus, of course, uniquely among rabbinic scholars, would preface what he was about to say with the word amen, rather than concluding a statement with that particular idea. And so it did represent then from Jesus rather a unique formula. Amen, amen, lego, first person singular, present, active indicative, lego, I say, soy, pronoun, dative, singular, I say, to you, hoti, that, ho, relative pronoun, singular, that which oidamen, perfect tense, for oido or oida, we know, or I know, this is the first person plural of that, so that which we know, and the perfect suggests that which we have come to know, that which we knew sometime in the past and continue to have very much consciously in our minds, that which we know, la lumen, now the present active indicative, we speak. So that which we have come to know, we speak in the present tense. We speak now kai, ho, same as here, relative pronoun, and that which rakamen, again the perfect, first person plural, perfect, active indicative, that which we have seen, marturumen, present tense, we testify to, we proclaim, we bear witness to. So that which we have come to know and have come to see, we speak and we bear witness to responsively. What does Jesus mean exactly by the use of the first person plural here? We speak, we testify to, and so on. There's been a variety of opinions about that. Does Jesus simply use the kind of royal we here that can sometimes be used? We, our decision is such and so. That's possible. Some think that Jesus is actually alluding to the fact that the Father is bearing witness to what Jesus says. And of course, the New Testament otherwise confirms that the Father bore witness with signs and wonders and various gifts of the Spirit. We hear over in Hebrews chapter 2, verse 2. So maybe Jesus is including the Father in this reference to we. Maybe it's John or other apostles who are the we that's included here. John is, after all, writing this epistle, and it could very well be that in some ways this is being incorporated as Jesus has this comment to make to Nicodemus. Not altogether clear. One way or another, is given to Nicodemus with a high degree of weight, and the we certainly at least adds even more weight on top of the amen, amen that we already saw. And then in spite of that, in spite of the weight, in spite of the emphasis and so on, kai and tain marturion, the witness, the testimony, hemon, of us, u lambanita, you do not receive. This, of course, is what John said in the first chapter. He came to his own, and his own received him not. And we've seen again and again the idea that Jesus comes with perfectly evident proofs, testimonies as to his credibility, as to the content of his message and its reliability, and nevertheless people in their darkened state, without that renovation that takes place only by means of the Spirit, are blind to it, they're deaf to it, they don't see it, they don't accept it, they can't even appreciate it, that it's there to be seen. or to be appreciated. And it seems that that's what Jesus is driving home now in this rather amazing conversation that he has with this religious leader.